Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here. Today I want to weigh in on a topic that it feels like the internet is really picking apart and debating the idea of the death of the console wars. Because historically, console wars have been a major motivator to a lot of innovation, to a lot of price drops, to a lot of crazy cool exclusives. I mean, especially if you think back just a couple generations to something like, I don't know, something like the 6th generation. When we first saw that rise of the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, really just that first push into HD graphics, or even before that, Dreamcast versus GameCube versus Xbox versus PlayStation 2, which debatably had some of the best RPGs ever made, on top of some of the first real online shooters and stuff. I don't know, I'm thinking about it today because a lot of people are saying that the console wars are done, that PlayStation has completely dominated, or that Nintendo Switch 2 is about to completely take over the market, or that Xbox at this point is now just a brand that even third party is surprisingly powerful. But I wanted to talk about it today because upon reflection, I kind of feel like the console wars are over, but I feel like only the gamers are losing. Let me explain. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I wanted to begin with just a lot of these different articles and stuff I've seen popping up saying that the 2025 is the year that the console war ended. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that now that Xbox has gone completely third party. Now, I am one of the first YouTubers that basically called this. A couple of years ago, I very much said that Xbox has no off-ramp. Xbox cannot just continue to hope that consoles start selling. I basically called it years ago saying that, look, Xbox has to put more and more games on PlayStation specifically. The PS5 is way more out there. It's way higher selling. It has a way more dedicated fan base that's used to buying games. Xbox really put themselves into a hole. But a lot of people felt like specifically this year, seeing Gears of War go to PlayStation, that was completely wild. I mean, I bought it and played a bunch of this online, but even the fact that now the next Halo, the remake of Halo 1, that being on the PlayStation 5, I mean, people are putting cuck memes all over the place. It just shows that Games Pass was not sustainable. And I do think that in a lot of ways, the difference in tactics is part of the reason I feel like the console wars has been such a messy circumstance with this generation, right? Whereas PlayStation has really kind of doubled down on just being the best place to play, but not necessarily those big exclusives. I mean, historically, what's really kind of sold, especially stuff like the Nintendo Switch and stuff like the PlayStation 4, was crazy exclusives, right? Here's Horizon Zero Dawn. Here's Breath of the Wild. Those things that instantly you look at it and go, yes, I want to play that. I want to buy a system to play that. Whereas this gen, PlayStation's strategy has very clearly just been sit back and let everybody else put out games. All right, we have the PlayStation 5, we got the PlayStation 5 Pro. We're the best place to play. Whether it is first party, third party, you're going to buy our system. It's where everybody is gaming. It's where all the online stuff is at. You got to come to our playhouse. And it's interesting that that strategy has worked surprisingly well, at least to my point of view. Whereas there was this very controversial put up by Gamespot. Technically, it's getting downvote bombed into a crater, but their conclusion is that Nintendo won the console war. And their thought is that Nintendo is the only company at this point that still has exclusives. I mean, it's pretty much undeniable. Every game, even if you absolutely love your PlayStation, a lot of those games go to PC. There's already leaks about Ghost of Yotei, which was one of my favorite games of last year. Ghost of Yotei looks incredible in the PS5 Pro, and you know what? It's going to look way better on a PC. Obviously, PC graphics scale infinitely higher, right? That's already known to be coming to PC. So a lot of people are saying that really the final console in a way is the Nintendo Switch. But that's kind of funny because in a lot of ways, the Nintendo Switch 2 sales, I still feel like have not been as high as Nintendo wanted. In fact, this is the Black Friday sales and a lot of the holiday sales. It's kind of odd. The Nintendo Switch 2 ended up really coming in, well, like, according to this one especially, this is during November. During the Black Friday sale, you can see that Nintendo Switch 2 got outsold by the PS5 almost 2-1 worldwide. Now, that's just according to public data. It could be off. Obviously, the PlayStation 5 outsold them 16-1. Pretty funny, but my point is the fact that PlayStation is clearly trying to do a different tactic. They're trying to almost be the normie device. Oh, you want to play Call of Duty, you want to play Minecraft, you want to play anything, right? You have to come to PlayStation. Whereas I almost feel like Nintendo is very much, I almost feel like, narrowing their focus a bit. Hey, do you want the best portable device of all time? Do you want to have stuff that, yes, is more expensive? Yes, we have $80 games and $100 controllers, but hey, our $500 system is a tablet that can play crazy third-party, first-party stuff with AAA graphics on the go. And I do think that is going to do good in the long run, but I still feel like trying to just say that Nintendo won immediately is a bit funny. Nintendo always wins, not even close. They have the Wii U and then the Switch 2. A lot of people are basically like, hardcore pony fanboys won't like to hear that. I love that. But I almost think that, to me, we all have to admit the fact that Xbox obviously is just out. At this point, the console war is purely just PlayStation versus Nintendo. Xbox is gone. Comfortably the worst year, sales down by nearly 40%. Now keep in mind, the year before that, sales were down 28%. The year before that, the sales were down about 14%. So literally, almost every single year, they're doubling their losses. Xbox is selling worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Multiple Xbox podcasts now, like even this one, they're talking about the fact that over on Xbox era, the era of Xbox hardware is truly over. They're just not going to go hard on consoles ever again. And to me, it almost signifies what I feel like is about to be the next real war. I think that this is no longer just about having those cool, flashy games. I almost feel like the real war we're about to have is about who can have the cheapest system. Now, hear me out on this. I think PlayStation has fantastic games, first party or third party. I feel like PlayStation, especially their couple first party games, have been, in my opinion, damn near perfect. God of War Ragnarok, I could play that for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. I love God of War Ragnarok and God of War 2018 and Spider-Man 2. Love those games. But let's face it, they didn't sell incredibly great, right? They sold decent. They definitely made their money back, but they weren't like crazy high sellers the way that Nintendo Switch exclusives. A lot of Nintendo Switch games sell like 30 to 50 million copies. Some of the sales on Nintendo Switch games, I mean, they boggle the mind. They're literally some of the highest selling games of all time. Stuff like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold something crazy like 70 million copies. I mean, Nintendo Switch sales, and I do think part of it is that they are exclusives, just truly do not make sense. But my point of view is that what really is about to hurt everybody is the fact that right now, whoever is going to win the rest of this generation is the person that is able to figure out how to stay ahead of this. There have been insane price jumps like crazy on the PC side of things. Used to, gaming for a long time, I would say for almost a decade now, console gaming for a lot of people has been a gateway drug into PC gaming. You know, you get addicted to playing stuff because on consoles, undeniably, a lot of the reason I like consoles is they're just so easy, right? You pick up the controller, it auto updates, it auto does everything. You put the disc in, it does everything. It installs it, it runs. You don't have to do any back-end stuff. It just literally automatically works. And I like that, right? PC, though, is close to that good. I think PC has a little bit more like messing with graphics options and sometimes messing with like DLSS, or sometimes your online isn't working exactly as seamlessly as a console. But undeniably, if you get used to PC gaming, it's a lot higher skill ceiling, a lot higher graphics ceiling. So I know a lot of people went from console gaming to PC gaming, and now this just isn't possible. There have been talks about the fact that now a mid-range PC or a decent PC at this point now is $7,000. This guy's talking about the fact that, look, I just can't justify ever dropping that much on a computer. I'm just going to have to deal with what I have right now for a couple more years. This is a very, very common circumstance. A $7,000 PC is unforgivably expensive, right? Even if you don't like the price of like a PlayStation 5 Pro, if you get all the bells and whistles, tax included, shipped to your house, right now PS5 Pro is like $800. And the thing is, a PlayStation 5 Pro looks pretty dang good. It doesn't look as good as a $7,000 PC, but a lot of people used to, if a really good PC costs you $2,500, it's easier to go, okay, I'm sort of future-proofing. I'm roughly getting the power of a PlayStation 6 right now for the price of like 2 PlayStation 5 Pros. But this, 8 times the cost, that's way, way, way too much. And my fear is that there's this thought about the fact that premium gamer experiences. My fear is the fact that these companies are going to start jacking up the prices of everything more and more and more to figure out what the actual limit is. I feel like so many of these companies now, Sony especially, Nintendo especially, they're really trying to just figure out, okay, how much can we turn up before you quit? How expensive can we make a video game before you stop buying it? Can we get you to pay $100, $110, $120? How much can we turn it up to make our profit per player higher before that just starts to dip back down? And I think the first place we're going to experience that is hardware. I do think there's a good chance that this year, the PlayStation 5 is going to go up to $1,000. I want to be wrong more than anything on the planet, but I do truly think with just the way tech trends are going, a $1,000 PS5 price increase, it isn't impossible. It's an actual bit on the table. So my thought about the console wars is that the person that manages to win it is going to be the person that finds a way to get prices down. And I'm not just talking about subsidizing. I'm not just talking about taking a loss. I think the first company that figures out a way to, make their own factories, make back-end deals to get this stuff down, or the AI bubble just finally popping. I've said this again and again and again. But at this point, I don't think people care that much about graphics. I don't think people even really care that much about exclusives. I think people care about fun, and I think they care about affordability. The first console, or even the first gadget, we're even talking like the Steam machine, even like a pre-built PC, the first one that managed to have even halfway decent graphics for under $500, especially if it's like $450, $400, $350, that's going to be what wins the console wars. Right now, in the current era, I'm almost kind of afraid. I kind of feel like gamers are losing because at this point, I feel like my fear about gaming in general is that while we are still getting amazing experiences, there has been some amazing indies and stuff, I just am in this scared spot where I keep thinking about the fact that what happens when everything just gets priced out? What if everything gets too dang expensive? I think at that point, everybody's going to go back to retro gaming because at this point, at least you can play these games for cheap. I don't know, maybe this is too bleak. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And who do you think won the console war? Like, we all agree, obviously, Xbox lost. But on the real measuring tape of success as it currently stands at the start of 2026, are you more Team PlayStation or are you Team more Nintendo? But tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Price drop, price drop, price drop.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.